Judge Lee, tell me what your understanding is currently of the Chevron doctrine.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy, for that question. My understanding currently of the Chevron doctrine is that the doctrine is a general matter that courts should give deference to agency factual determinations to the extent that the agency has been empowered by Congress to regulate certain areas.
How much deference have the appellate court said you should give? Explain what you mean by giving them. I know what deference is, but do you give them a lot of deference? What if they come up with an interpretation that is patently absurd? Do you have to defer to that?
Thank you, Senator Kennedy. Senator Kennedy, I know that the issue of the Chevron doctrine and the deference that courts should afford to agencies is an issue that is currently hotly contested in various litigation. And as a sitting district judge and as a nominee for the Seventh Circuit, I feel that it would be imprudent to provide my advisory views with regard to that issue.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Hot News Today. Today's video features Senator John Kennedy interrogating President Biden's judicial nominees during a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing. No fluff, just hard-hitting exchanges on American law and society. Stay tuned for eye-opening moments.
The degree of deference that a court should afford agencies really deals with the process that the agency went through in making its determination, as well as to the exact and precise nature of that determination.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, Judge, but that's okay. I'm surprised you haven't seen the issue of Chevron before. You're going to see it on the Court of Appeals. It's pretty important stuff.
Let's start with Judge Lee. Senator Kennedy cuts right to it. One key question. Judge, what's your understanding of the Chevron doctrine? Courts defer to agencies when Congress delegates authority, but Kennedy's not letting that slide. How much deference? Lee stays cautious. Too cautious. Still, no clear answer. Kennedy looks stunned. I'm surprised you haven't seen Chevron before. You'll definitely see it on the Court of Appeals. Yikes. Judge Mendoza's law school writings next up. Judge Mendoza. Kennedy pulls a quote from Mendoza's law review article. Race is a socially constructed phenomenon serving to subordinate minorities. Kennedy admits confusion. What did you mean? Mendoza deflects, citing facts and precedent. Kennedy nods, moving on.
Let me ask you, Judge Mendoza, one question. I've only got a little bit of time left. Look, you wrote a law review article back in law school, and I don't hold that against you. You know, when I was in law school, we all did things when we were young that, it seemed like a good idea at the time, okay? But you made, if I got this wrong, tell me. But you made one statement. I was looking at your piece. I think this came from your article. I'm gonna read you the quote, and I just didn't understand it. Here's your quote. One must understand race as a socially constructed phenomenon that has historically served to subordinate racial minority groups while maintaining white supremacy. I've never thought of race as a socially constructed phenomenon. Tell me what you meant by that statement.
Thank you, Senator, for that question. And I think you're referring to that article that I wrote 26 years ago, when I was a law student. And of course, since that time, Senator, I've became an attorney. I swore an oath. At that point, I became a judge.
No, I'm not trying to trip you up. I'm just trying to understand what you meant by it. When I first read it, I said, well, that's an interesting construct. I just don't understand.
And Senator, as I sit here now, I can't recall that specific quote. But what I can tell you is when I deal with the issue of race in my court, it's usually in a claim. And what I do in those claims is I apply the precedent on the matter. I look at the facts and I make those determinations and base my decision only on those issues and nothing else.
That's a wrap on a gripping Judiciary Committee session. Senator Kennedy pressed hard, cut through legal jargon, and made sure the American people heard real answers. Make sure you're subscribed for more breakdowns like this one. Hit that like button if you found this insightful. Until next time, stay informed, stay sharp.